Welcome back to the Dental Marketing Mix, the podcast for dental practice owners who want to grow smarter online. I'm Dan Bryan. I'm the co-founder at DentalScapes, and I am so glad you're here today because we are diving into something big that doesn't get nearly enough airtime in the dental marketing world. Honestly, it's something our team thinks about with every single client we work with at DentalScapes. So for all the dental practice owners out there, here is a question I want you to sit with for just a second. What if your marketing is actually working and you just can't tell because the leads are slipping through the cracks before they ever make it onto your schedule? That's what we're getting into today. We're talking about conversion rate, specifically your practice's ability to turn incoming calls and web inquiries into actual booked new patient appointments. And I will tell you up front, this is one of the most overlooked levers in dental practice growth. You can have the best performing Google Ads campaign in your market. You can dominate local search and have a 5-star reputation and still struggle to grow if your front desk isn't converting those leads into patients. Today on the show, we're going to look at what a healthy conversion rate actually looks like, what even a small improvement can do for your revenue, and some practical, easy to implement ways to move the needle, both online and at your front desk. So let's get into it, and we'll start here. What do we mean by conversion rate, and why does it matter? When we talk about conversion rate in the context of a dental practice, we're really talking about the percentage of qualified leads, new patient calls, web form submissions, chat inquiries that result in a booked appointment. It sounds very simple, but it is one of the most telling metrics in your entire marketing operation. At DentalScapes, when we take on a new digital marketing client, we don't just look at traffic and clicks and rankings. We look at all of that, but we also look at the entire patient journey, from the moment someone searches for a dentist in your area all the way through to that first appointment on the books. And that means that conversion rate is always part of the conversation. Because if we're driving qualified leads to your practice and those leads aren't converting, we need to know where and why they're falling off. So what does a healthy conversion rate look like? Well, industry benchmarks put the average somewhere around 50%, give or take a bit, meaning that roughly half of the new patient inquiries coming into a practice result in a scheduled appointment. And that's just the baseline. But the highest performing practices we see, they're operating at 60, 65, even 70% and above. It's not magic. It is a combination of smart online strategy and a front desk team that knows how to guide a prospective patient toward booking. But what does a 5 to 10% lift actually mean for your practice? Let's look at the numbers. Here's where it gets really tangible, and I want you to actually do this math for your own practice. Let's say your practice receives 100 new patient inquiries per month. That's calls, form fills, whatever your intake looks like. At a 50% conversion rate, you're booking 50 new patients. Now let's say that the average new patient value at your practice is $800, which is honestly pretty conservative. That's $480,000 in new patient revenue per year from those leads alone. Now let's say that you improve your conversion rate by just 10 percentage points, from 50% to 60%, 60. You are now booking 60 new patients from those same 100 inquiries per month. That's 10 additional patients per month. And so at $800 average patient yearly value, that's $8,000 in additional monthly revenue, or roughly $96,000 over the course of a year, without spending a single additional dollar on marketing. So think about that for a minute. Nearly 6 figures of upside from the same leads you were already generating just by getting better at converting them. And on the flip side, if you're investing $3,000 or $4,000 a month in digital marketing and your conversion rate is low, your cost per acquired patient is going to look painful. Improving conversion rate is one of the fastest ways to improve your marketing ROI without increasing your budget. So let's talk about how we fix it. Here are some online factors that drive higher conversion. Let's talk about what actually moves the needle. And I want to start on the digital side because this is where DentalScapes spends a lot of our time. And there are some very specific design and strategy decisions that consistently produce better conversion rates for dental practices. The first is friction reduction on your website. Every extra step between a prospective patient and a booked appointment is an opportunity for them to drop off. We've seen practices with beautiful websites that make it genuinely difficult to take action. Phone numbers buried in footers, contact forms that ask for 10 fields of information, no clear call to action above the fold. Your website's job is to make it as easy as possible for someone to reach out or book. That means a prominent clickable phone number in the header on both desktop and mobile, a simplified contact or request form, and ideally an online scheduling option if your practice management software supports it. We also recommend online chat as an opportunity to engage with potential patients. The second I want to call out is specificity in your ads and landing pages. When someone clicks a Google ad for pediatric dentist accepting new patients in Dallas or whatever, they should land on a page that speaks directly to that. Not your homepage, but a dedicated landing page that mirrors the language of the ad, addresses that specific patient type, and has one clear action to take. The more aligned the experience is from search to click to page to call, the higher your conversion rate will be. Third, and this is a big one we've been talking about lately on the podcast, third is trust signals. Reviews, credentials, photos of the actual team, these all matter enormously on the page when you're asking someone to take action. They're also important in search engine optimization and generative engine optimization, but that's a whole nother story. Check out the recent episodes on that. But a prospective patient who has never been to your practice is making a trust decision. Make it easy for them to trust you before they ever pick up the phone. And fourth, and this one is underrated, speed and mobile experience. A significant portion of dental searches, actually over 80%, happen on mobile devices, often in a moment of need. If your website is slow to load or hard to navigate on a phone, you are losing patients to the practice down the street whose site loads in 2 seconds, I promise you. Page speed and mobile optimization are not optional. It is 2026, and these are pure conversion factors. So now let's dig into offline factors, or the front desk experience. This is the human side of conversion, and this is where a lot of practices actually leave money on the table without realizing it. Because the front desk team is in many ways the most important part of your marketing operation. They are the bridge between a lead and a patient. And yet, in most practices, formal phone training for scheduling calls is either minimal or non-existent, and that is a gap worth closing. So here are a few things that make a real difference. Answer the phone, please. This sounds almost too obvious to say, but missed calls are one of the biggest conversion killers in dental practices. If a prospective patient calls and goes to voicemail, the data shows that a significant percentage of them will simply call the next practice on their list. Game over. And if staffing makes consistent phone coverage difficult, consider a dental answering service for overflow, or at minimum, make sure your voicemail message is warm, professional, and sets a clear tone and expectation for a callback. Also, lead with warmth and availability. The tone of that first call sets the entire patient relationship. A front desk team member who sounds rushed, distracted, or robotic is going to lose patients that a warm, engaged voice would have kept. Train your team to greet new patient callers as if they're genuinely excited to have them, because they should be. Here is a big one. Ask for the appointment. This is sales 101, but it applies here for sure. Don't wait for the patient to ask if they can schedule. Guide them there. Something as simple as, I would love to get you scheduled. Do mornings or afternoons work better for you? Moves the conversation from information gathering to commitment. Giving someone a binary choice also reduces the cognitive load of deciding. It is far easier to pick between two options than to decide whether to schedule at all. Another key is to address hesitation without pressure. Prospective patients often have objections, insurance questions, cost concerns, anxiety about treatment. You know how it goes. A front desk team that's prepared to address these calmly and empathetically will convert more of those conversations than one that gets flustered or goes immediately to, let me have someone call you back. So equip your team with simple, honest answers to the most common objections your practice receives. Also, follow up on missed connections. If someone submitted a web form or a chat or left a voicemail and hasn't heard back, they are already cooling off, I assure you. Build a simple follow-up workflow. Ideally, a call within the hour, and if no answer, a text or email. Many practice management systems now support automated text follow-ups for new patient inquiries, and this is definitely something that can meaningfully improve your conversion rate. All right, I've talked your ear off. Let's put all this together. This is the big picture takeaway. Marketing's job is to deliver qualified, motivated prospects to your practice's front door, digitally speaking. But what happens after that click? after that call is equally important to your growth. At DentalScapes, we talk about this with every client because we've seen practices with modest marketing budgets outperform practices with aggressive ones simply because they had tighter systems for converting those calls into actual booked appointments. The really good news here is that unlike increasing your marketing spend, many of these conversion improvements cost little to nothing to implement. Tightening up your website's call to action, improving phone answer rates, and training your front desk team on how to guide patients toward booking are all within reach. And the revenue impact, as we walked through earlier, can be significant. If you're not sure where your practice stands on conversion rate, that is actually the first thing to figure out. Start tracking it. Look at how many new patient calls and inquiries you're receiving each month against how many new patients are actually getting on your schedule. The gap between those two numbers is your opportunity. And if you'd like help understanding where your practice's marketing and conversion strategy stands, including how your website, your ads, and your patient intake process all work together, that's exactly what we do at DentalScapes. Head over to dentalscapes.com/start to book a free strategy call. We'll take a look at the full picture and help you figure out where your biggest growth opportunities are. Thank you so much for tuning into the Dental Marketing Mix, and I'll see you in the next one.